jet check, 1, 2, 3.
Loud and clear.
Hi everyone, Jay, it's good to see you again. Welcome to episode 2 of our Arrows F1 Team Save. This mini-series that we are doing in the development build of F1 Manager 2024. Our chance to have an early look at some of the features that are going to be included in the next installment of the game. Our mission is to get some points with Arrows F1. If you haven't already watched the first episode, stop this video where it is and quickly check it out now. For those who have, you would have seen not the best of races, some minor mistakes which in the end were a little bit costly for us when it comes to battling for that all elusive 10th place. 15th and 17th with Liam Lawson and Nico Hulkenberg. Surely as we get ourselves ready for Jeddah, things can only get better, right? Now, as well as the race in this episode, we are going to be checking out a few of the other features which are going to be on offer for the upcoming game release. If you haven't already, let me know in the comments section underneath who you think you're going to be taking control of, or if you are going to be going on the same route as me, creating your own team. Let me know. Have you got your own story set out, or are you going to bring back a former team to be that competitive 11th car on the grid? Coming up now is a quick short message from a past me, and then we are on the road to Jeddah. Like the content? Throw the video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your notifications and share. Thumbs ups and likes help spread the video around the algorithm and recommends them to users similar to your amazing selves. In the video description below, click the links and follow the content we stream on Twitch, as well as joining in Discord and following on Twitter/X. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of the video. Putting an extremely abysmal Bahrain behind us, let's look forward to Jeddah. Before we do that though, let's have a look at one of the new updates from F1 Manager 24. This is affiliate drivers, and while we're here I might as well show you the updates to the contract screens for these drivers as well. So gone are the single reserve drivers that you can contract for your team, and in our affiliates, think of affiliates as the same way the Red Bull Junior program, Ferrari has their own academy, same for Mercedes, Aston Martin, etc, etc. Well, now it is Arrow's turn. Time to start recruiting for the Arrows Academy. In this development build, when we're scouting for a championship, it is showing drivers who are already signed in other F1 teams affiliate camps as F1 in the championship. I do feel that this should be changed because it makes it very confusing when you are searching through the F1 roster and suddenly Abby Pulling appearing out of nowhere, seemingly with an F1 contract. Just an example, I do hope that one day she is able to climb up through the ranks and eventually get an F1 seat. One feature when it comes to contracts that I know a lot of people have been asking for. A lot of frustration has come with negotiating over the last few seasons. Now you have the appeal bar at the top, which goes up and down depending on how much better or worse you make the contract. Also added is an offer deadline. With before you would get answers immediately, now you can let your drivers that you're trying to hire have a little bit of time to think about it. The more time you give them to think about it, the higher the appeal bar raises. You can still set the offer deadline to immediately, just beware that the appeal will spectacularly collapse. As we found in this development build though, sometimes the drivers will send you a counter offer. In the news bulletin it did give us a slightly different set of numbers than what's been shown here, but I think that is a bug that has been identified and should be ironed out by game release. Once you've got that appeal back to sweet spot, you can set your offer deadline to immediately, and with that, we have a couple more affiliates. With a couple of tests, I have found that making offers for other drivers and teams has brought up counter offers as well. For example, with another team I tried to hire Ocon, and Haas of all teams were also trying to make an offer at the same time. A contract bidding war ensued. As with the last game, you will need to manage your pit crew effectively and efficiently. Drivers and staff will go up ratings in between days and weeks. And the facilities have gone a slight little makeover, but a lot of the core buildings are still there. That's enough messing about though before Jeddah. Let's get our race targets in place and go straight to Saudi Arabia for hopefully a little bit more of a positive racing weekend. The positives started as early as practice 1, where we found just how easy it is to throw your affiliates into the car for the session, and you can do it for both cars. So if you wanted just a full team of affiliates doing practice 1 to get that experience up, now you can. And other teams will do the same as well if needed. And for another bonus, even more team radio messages, especially from those not already in the pinnacle of F1.
Hey, jet check, 1, 2, 3.
Loud and clear.
Loud and clear, indeed. As you already know, a new feature for F1 Manager is the ability to simulate full races. Now for this mini-series, we won't be doing that. However, just for this episode, we are going to be skipping qualifying, seeing without my direction if we can qualify any higher up the grid. Okay, 18th and 14th isn't all that, but we're going to go with a one-stopper for Hulkenberg, for hopes that there's a late safety car, and Lawson. We're going to be using him this race to try and get right up that grid and potentially get our first points of the season. This is Hulkenberg's race to just chill in, unless we need him for an emergency, but for Lawson, I feel the focus is going to be mainly on him.
We're now moments away from this, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go!
Once again, I can't stress this enough, just how much I love this helicopter cam. Oh, so good. The start though wasn't, was it? Both Lawson and Hulkenberg both down the place, but we won't panic. It's a race, not a sprint. Hopefully, as the laps go by, there we go, already. Lawson making for space.
Okay, so DRS is active.
I always start my races with full-on aggression when it comes to tyres, engine, and the ERS battery as well. Remember, this year regulations have changed when it comes to DRS. It is activated after only one lap. With Hulkenberg, we might not push as hard with him while he's on the one stopper. Being on the one stopper, he's got to look after those tyres a little bit more. Obviously, give him a little boost at the start, try and get him some places. If it works, great. If it doesn't, no big loss. Our focus is on Lawson. By the way, I suppose you're very curious, who replaced Hulkenberg when we signed him from Haas? Well, Amrai Cordial, who, off the top of my head, I think is actually one of the affiliate drivers for Haas. So when you're choosing your drivers, and they're one of the main drivers of any of the 10 teams on the F1 grid, it is very likely they'll just replace them with one of their affiliate drivers. This may change on full release. As we approach lap 10 in the race, we have a bit of a situation on our hands, and that situation just happens to be Yuki Tsunoda. After him and Ricciardo holding up the majority of the grid, we had Lawson climbing up slowly before just getting absolutely swamped by quicker cars. And what has started to look like a really promising drive for Lawson is bringing me absolutely horrible flashbacks of Jeddah, and I can't help but feel that we might have a long race on our hands. And what do you know, two teammates fighting for 16th place. We need something to happen this race, and we need it to happen sooner rather than later, because I just don't trust these two together. With both of them on soft tyres, I can't really give a preference to one or the other, but you lot in the comments, would you have done something different at this point in the race? Eventually we got Lawson into the pits and a pretty routine pit stop, under 3 seconds, which for a new team, I'm happy with that. But then the problems, they started.
My bad, guys.
So this is what happened. Here we are then reaching turn 13. The brakes couldn't cope. Now they did leave it very late.
Very, very late. So late that that mistake has scrubbed 8% off of the soft tyres. Hardly ideal, but at least it didn't happen to one-stop strategy Hulk. Thankfully though, it wasn't just us making mistakes. It's just a shame that this virtual safety car couldn't have come at a little bit of an earlier time where we could have really taken advantage of less time lost whilst pitting due to the fact that all the cars were on a slower delta. Whilst the virtual safety car is out, saving the tyres, saving the fuel, charge up the batteries, we go again. Our aim for this time is just to try and tag onto a larger group of cars and just keep up with them and just hope for a little bit of fortune to go our way. Hey kids, you want to see someone completely destroy any hopes of a points finish? Well, you could be just like me and at the end of a virtual safety car, pit my quicker driver on quicker tyres to hards, just so they wouldn't have to pit for the rest of the race. Unfortunately, I missed something out here. This having only one purple light means my strategy is going off the back of me conserving my hard tyres for the entirety of the race. I missed this and decided to push because I am an idiot. Unfortunately though, on this night in Jeddah, I wasn't the only person as part of Arrows that was being a complete idiot tonight.
Are you okay?
And ends up making contact with the barrier. I imagine their confidence will have taken a knock.
Honestly, at this point, I could have cried. Just my luck so far this series, and hopefully this doesn't go across to the full game release, because I would like to be as successful as I was last season with Haas. That would be very, very nice.
Yep, low battery.
But with Hulkenberg on not so great strategy, we tried fighting.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, unless there was going to be a full-on safety car or a red flag, there was nothing we could have done this race.
Try and call these, especially the rear right.
Sometimes I think you just have to accept that it's not going to be your race.
That'll be quite a blow, having to cut their race short, but they'll be doing everything they can to come back stronger.
I'll do it via any means necessary. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this second episode just as much, if not more, than the first. We have one left in this developmental build, and my question for you lot in the comments is, how would you fix this mess we're in? How would you get Arrows F1 their first points at Melbourne, Australia next time? If you haven't already, put a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the first episode again. Hopefully I'll see you on the third and final episode as we try and get Arrows F1 their first points since getting them back in F1. Take care of yourselves. Most importantly, please make sure you take care of each other.